This is the L2C Media Network, and this is Sports Final, brought to you by the L2C Media Network. I'm Harry von Stuttgart, and here with a look at the night in sports, the day in sports, and the Sunday in sports. Steve, the Baxman Baxley. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Good evening. Oh, wow, I have ears. How you doing, everybody? Greetings. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. We'll keep them coming, folks. How's it going? Steve the Baxman Baxley here, and that, of course, was the voice of Harold von Stuttgart, or as we like to affectionately call him, Harry. And he's in some areas not. Anyway, folks, we got a lot for you tonight, so why don't we attempt to do our tour, as it were. Our scores, as always, are presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Remember, we are all Caesars. And week 7 of the NFL means only one thing. Next week, we are at the halfway mark. Hey, huzzah. All right, we have made it. We made it through half a season. It don't look like it, but it does. We made it through half a season. And I don't know how to handle it. Ooh. Anyway, you got the other. Oh, there it is. Need our applause. Need the applause, guys. Give me the applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Enough of that. Let's get to it, shall we? The NFL today. So let's look at it as I ask for the sound to be down, please, so I don't get those wonderful things that say, we're copyright striking you. So turn down the volume, please. Turn down the volume, please. Okay. We'll get the volume down so we don't get copyright stricken. Want to say, yeah, I'll do it after the football scores. Thank you, my mother. Thank you. Okay, here we go. The NFL scoreboard presented, as all the scoreboards are, by Caesars Sportsbook. And by the way, we do have a special shout out coming up because these guys did something that I always do. We will mention by name in a few moments, but let's get this done, shall we? Atlanta Falcons beat the Miami Dolphins 30-28. And let's give you the statisticals for the Falcons. Ryan did 336 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Patterson, 14 rushing attempts for 60 yards and a touchdown. And the Pits, well, they were smelling great. Yes, indeed. 7 receptions for 163 yards. For the Dolphins, Tagovailoa, 291 yards, 4 touchdowns. Wazoo kitties. Thank you. Gaskin, 15 rushing attempts for 67 yards. And Gesicki, Gewelski, 7 receptions for 89 yards and 1 touchdown. Once again, the final score, Falcons 30, Dolphins 28. Here's a big shocker. And how will it shock the standings? Oh, we got to tell you that, don't we, kids? Yes, sir. New York Giants over the Carolina Panthers by a score of 25-3. How good were the Panthers, or how bad were they? Well, Sam Darnold was kept to 111 passing yards. Hubbard did 12 rushing attempts for 28 yards, and Moore did less. 6 receptions for 73 yards. On the other side of the dais, the guy that replaced Sam Darnold, he was in the Jets. Sorry. Giants, Jones, 203 yards and a touchdown. Booker, 14 rushing attempts, 51 yards and a touchdown. And Slayton, 5 receptions, 63 yards. Giants over the Panthers, 25-3. Cincinnati Bengals, this was another shocker. They beat the Ravens 41-17. Burrow, 416 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mixon, 12 rushing attempts, 59 yards and a touchdown. And Chase, 8 receptions, 201 yards and a touchdown. For the Ravens, Jackson, 257 yards and touchdown. He also had 12 rushing attempts for about 88 yards. And Bateman, 3 receptions, 80 yards. Final score again. Bengals swallowed the Ravens whole and sped out the bones, 41-17. What has happened to the Kansas City Chiefs? They had a chance to take on the Titans, and, well, they can only get a field goal out of it. Titans beat them 27-3. Mahomes, 206 yards. He also had 6 rushing attempts for 36 yards. Pringle, 5 receptions, 73 yards. For the Titans, oh, Tannenhill, you did it all with some good help. 270 yards and a touchdown. Henry, 29 rushing attempts, 86 yards, and Brown, 8 receptions, 133 yards, and a touchdown. Final score, once again, Titans 27, Chiefs 3. Will that be one of the top 5 that we give an extension to? You'll have to wait till Tuesday, brothers. Patriots, oh man, they must have really had some anger issues. They gave the New York Jets a New England style beatdown. It was the Boston Tea Party all over again. Patriots 54, New York Jets 13. It was, as Jim Ross would call it, slobber knocker. For the Jets, White, 202 yards, 1 touchdown. Carter, 11 rushing attempts, 37 yards. He also had 8 receptions with 6 yards. For the Patriots, Jones, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns. Harris, 14 rushing attempts, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Bolden got in on the touchdown act. 6 receptions, 79 yards. 1 scintillating touchdown, folks. Yes, indeed. They only had one golden touchdown. Can you dig it? I knew you could. Let's raise up teleprompter here. All right, the Aaron Rodgers supposed farewell tour to the Packers continues. Stopped by in Washington, and they handed the Washington, we don't have a name yet, but when we do, we'll let you know. They handed them a big loss, 24-10. Heineke, 268 yards, 1 touchdown, also 10 rushing attempts for 95 yards. And if that wasn't enough, McLaurin, 7 receptions, 122 yards, and a touchdown. Now, for the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jones, 6 rushing attempts, 19 yards. And Adams, 6 receptions, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. The final score, 24-10, Packers over the Washington. We finally got a name, but we can't tell you till after the season. Jay Wiz. That's a little awful, isn't it? Yeah. In the Peaches and Herb Reunited Game of the Week, reunited and it feels so good. Wow, wow, reunited. And that's about all we can sing on that song. The LA Rams, under some new quarterback named Matthew Stafford, well, he reunited with the Lions, who have a quarterback named Jared Goff, who reunited with the Rams. It was, as we said, a Peaches and Herb moment, and they're the ones that sang reunited and feel so good. Well, for most of the game, the Lions started to feel good, and then reality slapped them. And the Rams took care of the rest. They beat the Lions 28-19. Goff, by the way, passed for 268 yards and a touchdown. Stafford, 334 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Rams and Lions, respectfully. Goff for the Lions, Stafford for the Rams. Rushing Williams, 12 rushing attempts and for 57 yards for the Lions, while Henderson, 15 rushing attempts for 45 yards. Raymond, 6 receptions, 115 yards, while Cup, 10 receptions, 156 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Obla. Well, how about the Philadelphia Eagles, LA Raiders game? Well, even with all the controversy, the Raiders know how to win, and this, they got to win. Yay. Raiders over the Eagles, 33-22. Eagles pass. Oh, by the way, I got to do it again. Rams beat the Lions 28-19. Raiders beat the Eagles 33-22 in the little packet of whatever you want to call it. Let's give you the line score, as it were. For the Eagles, Hurts passed for 232 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He also had 13 rushing attempts for 61 yards, and Goddard, 3 receptions, 70 yards. For the Raiders, Carr, what a pass master, 323 yards and 2 touchdowns. Drake, 14 rushing attempts for 69 yards, workable number, and 1 touchdown. And if that wasn't enough, the island of receiver Moreau got 6 receptions, 60 yards, and 1 touchdown. Didn't turn any one of them into a monster. Meanwhile, the final score, once again, Raiders 33, Eagles 22. Buccaneers and the Bears. Oh, the Buccaneers had a good time. Wish the Bears were there to play a little enjoyment. Here's why. Here's what happened. The Buccaneers pasted them, spanked them like a rented mule, 38-3. Fields, Bears quarterback, passed for 189 yards, no touchdowns. Herbert did 18 rushing attempts for 100 yards, and Kmet had 5 receptions, 43 yards. For the Buccaneers, Tommy Buccaneer added to his legend, 211 yards, 4 touchdowns. There was a record into that. We'll give you a bit of info on that as we give you the headline details. Fournette, 15 rushing attempts for 81 yards and a touchdown, and Goodwin, and it certainly was a good win, 8 receptions, 111 yards, and a touchdown. Cardinals remain the only lone undefeated team this season in the National Football League. They played home against the Houston Texans, who, showed up and squowed up. They got spanked like MJF got spanked by Sting. Mills, the final score 31-5. Cardinals over the Texans, over Houston. Mills, 135 yards, no touchdowns. Johnson, 7 rushing attempts for 25 yards. Collins, 2 receptions, 28 yards. For the Cardinals, Murray passed for 261 and 3 touchdowns. Edmonds, 15 rushing attempts for 81 yards. And Green was pure gold, 3 receptions, 66 yards. And finally, in the NFL nightcap, the nightcap, ooh. That's right, in the Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Michelle Tafoya nightly dance fest. It was the Indianapolis Colts over the hapless San Francisco 49ers, 30-18. Wentz was big, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Taylor, 18 rushing attempts for 107 yards and a touchdown. Pittman, 4 receptions, 105 yards, and a touchdown for the 49ers. Garoppolo not having one of his best years, one of his best seasons. 181 yards and a touchdown. Mitchell, 18 rushing attempts, 107 yards and a touchdown. And Samuel, 7 receptions, 100 yards, and 1 touchdown. Monday night's game, the New Orleans Saints go to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks. And there you go. Let's take a look at the standings right now. In the AFC East, it is Buffalo 4-2, followed by New England 3-4. The Jets and the Dolphins are battling it out for last place. Jets at 1-5. Division. It is a big old tie between Cincinnati records. Cleveland is still in the mix, 4-3, and Pittsburgh down in the bottom, even at 3-3. In the AFC South, it's Tennessee 5-2, Indianapolis 3-4, Jacksonville 1-5, and Houston 1-6. So that battle goes well. And in the AFC West, it's Vegas, baby, 5-2. Chargers 1 game away, 4-2. Kansas City 3-4, as is Denver 3-4. In the NFC East, it is Dallas still 5-1. The Washington No Names and Philadelphia Eagles 2-5, as well as the New York Giants also 2-5. In the north of the NFC, Green Bay Packers continue to lay havoc. They're at 6-1. Minnesota even at 3-3. Chicago 3-4. And Detroit trying to find themselves. Well, they found themselves. They just haven't found themselves enough to win. They're 0-7. In the South, Tampa Bay. And it sounds like I'm reading the baseball standings. Tampa Bay still top dog at 6-1. New Orleans 3-2. Atlanta 3-3, and Carolina 3-4. Methodical, don't you think? Meanwhile, in the West, in the NFC West, Arizona, the lone winless, winning streak. The lone 7-0. That's right. They haven't lost a single game this season. They are 7-0. The winning continues with the Rams close by at 6-1. Seattle and San Francisco battling it out for last place. And for those of you that are keeping score, in the battle for the first round draft pick, the Detroit Lions, if they lose next week, and if they lose next week and week 10, they will officially, by all counts, get that first round draft pick. Unless they win in one of their remaining games. Wow. And those is the standings. Let's go from football field to our hockey. And we do this as well. Let's go to the NHL. A light schedule One game still in progress. The New York Islanders lead the Vegas Golden Knights 2-0, 4:37 in regulation left to play. Final scores, and finally, after a drought without the Molson 3-star selection, we got him, and we got him good. Boston Bruins beat the San Jose Sharks 4-3. Your Molson 3-star selections: Marchand for Boston, 1 goal and 1 assist. For Bort for Boston, 1 goal and an assist. And Pasternak for Boston, 1 goal, 1 assist. This has been a recording. Beep. Nashville Predators got on the winning side. They embarrassed the Minnesota Wild 5-2. For Nashville, Johansson with 2 goals, Ingram with 33 saves, and Josie wasn't a pussycat. He got 1 goal and 3 assists. The Red Wings, they whopped some Chicago butt. Red Wings beat the Linda Steel Chicago Blackhawks 6-3. Woo. And we're going to do this. We got to. Why? Because, hey, it feels good. Let's go to it. The Eastern Division, the Atlantic, goes like this. Florida still on top with 22 points and a record of 5-0 and 5-0. Detroit, with a point total of 7, are in second. 3-2-1 is their record. Buffalo also was 7, but a game under. Buffalo 3-1-1. Boston 6, 3-1-0. Toronto 5 with 2-3-1 Ricotta. Tampa Bay 2-2-1 with 5 points. Ottawa 2-3-0, 4 points. Montreal 1-5, 2 points. Man, oh man! I know it's early, but come on, Montreal. Over in the Metropolitan Division, Rangers 4-1-1, 9 points. Carolina is second, 4-0-0, 8 points. Pittsburgh down 1, 3-0 and 2, 3-0-2, and 8 points. Washington 5-3-0 with 2 points. With 8 points. New Jersey 4-3-1, 6 points. Columbus 5-3-2 and 6 points. Philadelphia 4-2-1 and 5 points. And Philadelphia 4-2-1. Oh, wait a minute! I've been reading this wrong. Oh, thank you, boys. Tell me I forgot the overtime losses. Okay, thank you. Let's try that again. See, I make a mistake and I correct it too. Florida in 5 games is 5-0-0, 10 points. Detroit played 6 games, 3-2-1 for 7 points. Buffalo 3-1-1, 7 points, played 5 games. Boston, after 4 games, is 3-1-0 for 6. Toronto 6 games, 2-3-1, that's 5 in the point column. Tampa Bay played 5 games, 2-2-1 for 5 points. Ottawa, also 5-gamer, 2-3-0, 4 points. Montreal, 6 games, 1-5-0 for 2 points in the Metropolitan. There, now we got it. We're in the groove now. We now understand how this goes. New York Rangers, 6 games they played. The record 4-1-1, 9 points. Carolina doubles down in second, 4-4-0 and 0 for 4-0-0. Yeah, 4-1-1. Yeah, 4-0-0, 8 points. Pittsburgh, 5 games, 3-0-2, 8 points. Washington, 5 games they played, 3-0-2, 8 points. So they're knotted up with the Berg. New Jersey, 4 games played, 3-1-0 for 6 points. Columbus, 5 games played, 3-2-0 for 6 points. Philadelphia, 4 games played, 2-1-1, 5 points. And the Islanders played 5 games, 2-2-1, also 5 points. In the Western Division, Hang on, Sloopy, hang on. In the Western Conference Central Division, St. Louis, after 4 games, 4-0-0, 8 points. Minnesota, 5 games they played, 4-1-0, 8 points there. Dallas, 5 games, 3-2-0, 6 points. Winnipeg, 5 games, 2-2-1 for 5 points. Nashville, 2-4-0, 4 points after 6 games they played. Colorado, they played 5 games, have a record of 2-3-0 with 4 points. Arizona, they played 5 games with a record of 0-4-1, 1 point. And Chicago, it's still early. They're in a big old problemo. 6 games played, 0-5-1 with 1 point. In the Pacific, little dichotomy. Edmonton, 5 games, 5-0-0, 10 points. San Jose, 5 games, 4-1-0, 8 points. Vancouver, 6 games, 3-2-1 for 7 points. Calgary, 4 games played, 2-1-1, 5 points. Anaheim, after 6 games, a record of 2-3-1, 5 points. Los Angeles, 5 points, 1-3-1 is their record, 3 points. Seattle, after 6 games, 1-4-1, 3 points. Vegas, 4 games they played, 1-3-0 for 2 points. It's still early in the season, so we'll just wait till the NHL All-Star break before we give you the update. So we owe it to you because we didn't actually do it on opening night, so boom, we do it now. And speaking of now, let's kick you over to the NBA, where a not so light schedule. Kurt, everything is a final, and they are as follows. The Charlotte Hornets over the Brooklyn Nets, 111-95. Celtics over the Rockets, 107-97. Magic over the Knicks, 110-104. 76ers over the Thunder, 115-103. Warriors, I am a warrior. They beat the Kings by 2, 119-107. And finally, the Lakers have returned to the winning column. They finally won their first game. Hooray. 121-118 over the Grizzlies. And there you go. By the way, since we're talking hockey, why not give you some good old hockey scores? If they didn't play, then we just wasted a little time. A little time and a little punishment. So here we go. Do we have any games in the AHL to squawk about tonight? Yes. And here we go. The Bridgeport Islanders over the Laval Rocket, 3-0. Manitoba Moose in a shootout over the Grand Rapids Griffins, 3-2. Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins over the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, 2-1. Springfield Thunderbirds over the Providence Bruins, 4-1. The Toronto Marlies over those Cleveland Monsters in a shootout, 3-2. The Abbotsford Canucks over the Henderson Silver Knights, 3-0. And excuse me, can we go back to where we were? Come on. Thank you. And we just popped it wrong. So, this is fun. No, we make a mistake, we correct it, we don't edit. Where are we, guys? Come on, baby. Dance, dance, dance. Yes. Okay, where are we here? Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you. The Abbotsford Canucks over the Henderson Silver Knights, 3-0. And the Texas Stars over the Tucson Roadrunners, 6-2. And that only leaves us with one more league. That's right. And then we stick to the headlines. So let's get you to the Ontario Hockey League for their little action. And guess what? No games for tonight. They had the entire night off to ponder life's imminent answer. That gives us time to check in and give you some sports headlines, and we do so immediately. We start off with baseball. Yes. The St. Louis Cardinals are expected to announce Oliver. Hello, get back down there. Oliver. Try that again. The St. Louis Cardinals are expected to announce Oliver Marmol as the team's at 10 a.m. local time. Jim Bowden of CBS Sports HQ confirmed the reporting of Katie Wu and Ken Rosenthal of The Atlantic. The 35-year-old Marmol served last season as the Cardinals bench coach. He's a former Cardinals draftee and minor leaguer who also served as a hitting coach in the minors. Not bad. Not bad pedigree. Marmol also boasts managerial experience at the minor league level as he guided Johnson City and Palm Beach within the Cardinals system. Marmol would immediately become the youngest manager presently in the majors. Padres and Mets have yet to fill their vacancies. In the Mets' case, they should hire Mr. Met. That the Cardinals had a managerial vacancy has been one of the biggest surprises of the season. Earlier this month, the team announced they parted ways with Mike Shildt, who was fresh off a 92-win season and postseason berth. Also, Shildt win percentage of .559 across 3 seasons is the highest figure for a Cardinals manager since Johnny King's .560 in the 60s. Given Marmol's long history in the organization, long by standards of 35-year-olds at least, there's no doubt a deep mutual familiarity. Given that Schiltzuster was 0-2 in the words of President of Baseball Operations John Mozeliak, a philosophical difference with the front office team, with the front office. Thank you. Team Brass surely expects no such friction with Marmol. Marmol reported hiring also suggests he's comfortable embracing an analytically driven approach to his managerial duties. And it's likewise on board with the data-driven methods of hitting coach Jeff Albert. Expectations next season will be high for both Marmol and the front office. The Cardinals return a core of Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Jack Flaherty, and breakout slugger Tyler O'Neill, among others. Also, Adam Wainwright and Yadler Molina are back for what figures to be their final bows as Cardinals. Marmol would be the franchise's 37th manager since the 1900s. As we said, Tom Brady made history. Let's explain that said history. Another week, another milestone for Tommy Buccaneer, Tom Brady, and thanks to a generous fan, Brady and the Bucs have the record-setting ball in their possession. With 6 seconds left in the first quarter of Tampa Bay's home game against the Bears, Brady threw his 600th career touchdown pass, a 9-yard. Now, Brady is the only quarterback in league history to reach the milestone. Evans, significance behind the touchdown pass, gave the ball to a fan who was sitting in the front row of the end zone. The fan agreed to give the ball back to the Buccaneers in exchange for another game ball, a signed jersey, according to Tracy Wolfson, who was covering the game for CBS Sports, who was also covering the game. Yahoo! Brady entered the game with 598 career touchdown passes. His 599th pass was a 6-yard strike to Chris Godwin with just under 5 minutes left in the first quarter. The Buccaneers, who led 21-0 after the first quarter, opened the game with 3 straight drives and ended in Chicago's end zone and gave Matt Nagy more headaches than sucking down a Slurpee real fast. Sort of like this. All righty. Brady now has 29 more touchdowns than Drew Brees, who is second all-time with 571 touchdown passes. Peyton Manning and Brett Favre are the only other quarterbacks with at least 500 career touchdown passes. Aaron Rodgers, fifth all-time with 427. The reigning league MVP Rodgers threw 3 touchdown passes during Green Bay's 4-10 win over Washington on Sunday. Earlier this season, Brady surpassed Breeze as the NFL's all-time career leader in passing yards. Brady entered Sunday's game with 81,268. Brady, in case you didn't already know, also holds the NFL record for Super Bowls won with 7 and 5 Super Bowl MVP awards. And he doesn't look like he's going to retire. Okay, let's give you, now Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter of the Kansas City Chiefs 27-3 debacle to the Tennessee Titans. Star quarterback Patrick Mahomes took a very vicious blow to the head and was slow to get up. Eventually, he made his way to the sideline with the aid of several of his offensive linemen and did not return to the game. The former NFL MVP spent time in the blue medical tent, but eventually emerged and spent the rest of the game on the sideline, while Chad Henne took his spot. Fine now. Chiefs coach Andy Reid also said Mahomes was cleared to return to action, but that he decided to hold him out. Mahomes had what was one of the worst of his career as he completed 20 of 35 passes for 206 yards, 1 interception, and also lost a fumble. It was his first game without a touchdown pass since the Super Bowl loss to the Tampa Bay